Welcome to Narrow Ground Entertainment. I'm Steve the Unimpressed, and this is Steve Solo's 7 Days to Die Alpha 19, Episode 19. I'm still looking at my mines from last night, and as of yet, no zombies have shown up to test them out for me. So what I'm going to do to start off the episode is actually run over here and cut down some trees, because I ran almost completely out of wood in the last episode, which is why I didn't finish those platforms. So right now I'm going to take down a couple of trees and finish those platforms. Now these platforms are complete, and the benefit of that will be that when I eventually get a zombie to wander over one of these, we will get a good idea what the area of effect of these mines is going to be. I suppose I could walk over them myself. That would probably detonate them. I don't think that I am immune from detonating them just because I place them. But I don't really want to experiment with them that way. It sounds painful. This is probably not the last building I'm going to be doing during this episode either, because I think one of the things I'm going to try and do today, and oh hey, zombies. One anyway. Right this way, man. Oh, that was effective. Okay, that's interesting. That landmine didn't do any damage whatsoever to the ground. Now I just need to find another one to test out the hubcap. Hang on a second. Oh, we've got another volunteer right over here. Perfect. Yes, yes. Yeah. It's going to take a minute for me to get him to shamble all the way over there. Stand by. Over here, please. This way. Right this way. Come on. That one also did not damage the platform at all. So I didn't really get any idea about the area of effect of those mines. Although we did establish quite neatly that a zombie that walks directly on top of one will die. So that's good to know. This guy is one of the tougher ones too, and he actually stepped on the tougher mine. So I'm curious a little bit whether the candy tin landmine would also have been able to kill him. I am briefly considering making more landmines and putting them out here just to test that. I don't think I'm going to do that, though. What I have established with this test is that I don't have to worry too much about the ground under my towers. What I now realize that I failed to do anything to check is whether or not mines do damage to things next to them. I will make another landmine and carry it around with me, and maybe I will get a chance to do that at some point during this episode. Frankly, it is the towers themselves that I am concerned with not blowing up, not so much the ground under them. As I was saying before our volunteers showed up, I am going to do a little work on those towers today and see certainly about filling in the gaps in the ones that are already there, but possibly also starting the 5 new ones that I'm planning on building. And I think as long as I'm at it, I will make a couple of landmines and take them down there with me. Maybe I will have the chance to test whether or not they damage things next to them on the towers themselves. I still have enough time to repair them if that happens. One of the disadvantages that will come with using mines more regularly is that you don't get experience for zombies that you kill with a mine. So I did not get any experience for those 2 volunteers I took out up here. And if I start placing mines around my fortifications, I will not get experience for any zombies that are killed by the mines. I think that there used to be a skill perk that would allow you to gain, I think it was 50% of the experience for zombies or animals killed by traps. And I'm not sure if mines were included in that. I don't think I ever got that perk to test it out. But I don't think that that is still part of any of the perks. And if it is, it might be, and I just don't know which one it is. But I don't think it's there. So that will be unfortunate, but at a certain point, there's just too many zombies. And now that I've spotted this one, I think I will draw him over to the pillars and test out whether or not these hubcap landmines do damage to things that they're next to. Now that I know that they don't do damage to the ground underneath them. I briefly tried to decide for a moment there whether I wanted to put it in the middle, which is where I would actually put them, or right next to the tower to test whether or not it does damage. I think I'll put it right next to the towers to test whether or not it does damage. Dead zombie. That was already missing. I'm an idiot. I forgot completely to check the state of repair of these before I did that. Your death was useless. No, your second death. Well, I have 4 more. One new tower is up, and I've already got the materials crafting in my hotbar for another one. One of the problems I'm having, you kind of see right here, I'm having to dig out quite a bit of terrain in this area to be able to get the towers to be the same height. This is one of the reasons you should try to look for level ground in 7 days when you're going to build something. And this is relatively level ground, so this actually isn't too bad. I'm not going to have to dig out all that much, but if you pick a spot like over here that is much more hilly and uneven, especially for a structure like this where you actually want everything to be the same height so that, you're always out of reach of the zombies. If you build it on uneven terrain, you are going to wind up having to dig a lot. Or you would have to put each tower on top of an individual hill over here and support like bridges between them somehow, which actually could be kind of cool. Maybe I'll try that sometime. But for my current purposes, it would just be very inconvenient. I've repaired all of these towers, and I'm still kind of hoping that a new volunteer will show up for me to test my landmines a little bit better, now that I know that all of the towers are repaired, so I'll be able to see whether or not the landmine actually did damage. But so far, none have wandered along. I'll have to see if I can scare up some more at some point. I think I'm going to wind up doing quite a bit of building this episode. Once I run out of time over here, I will have to go back to base because my tools are running out of durability, or my mining tools in particular. So I can't go to the mines because my tools will break and I don't have any repair kits with me. Have to go back to base for repair kits. Poor planning. I'm probably going to have to keep working over here over the course of the next several episodes, at least a little bit at a time, because 5 more towers are not going to go up immediately. Let me just see. I may have to dig out material over here for the base of this tower. So far not. Maybe I'll get away with this one. Yep, looks like I'm going to get away with this one. Over here, though, for the next one back, I'm definitely going to have to dig out a bunch of terrain. So, this could be a more difficult project than I was really hoping. And the tower that winds up over in this corner could actually just wind up being slightly taller than the rest, because the ground over here is lower. Wasn't thinking about that when I picked this spot out. Or, I was thinking about it, but I wasn't thinking about it enough. The second new tower is finished, so actually I could just throw up wood frames in between those and the old towers and call it good. And I may well do that, at least for the next zombie horde night. I don't really need another full row of 3 for this to be a useful addition to the defenses. Still gives me more towers to run to in case one of them actually collapses. Still, it would be nice to have all of them up, so I may wind up doing that in the next episode and the episode following. I have 2 more days and therefore 2 more episodes until I fight the next zombie horde, so we will see what I'm able to do. Oh, well, I probably shouldn't have repaired that piece of ground because it's actually too high. So I'm just going to go ahead and dig it out. Maybe I'll dig out a few more of these. In fact, I think I'll just keep digging these out until my shovel breaks. And at that point, since I have to do a whole bunch of terraforming to make any of the next row of towers, I will call it good and go back to base. It is getting close to nightfall anyway. I spent a lot of time working on these towers. Back to base with my broken shovel, and nightfall is getting closer, so I'm going to come down here and see if I have any repair kits lying around. I thought I had some in here. Yep, 13. Got a bunch of repair kits lying around. Let's repair the shovel. Good. I spent a fair amount of time on the way home harvesting cotton. And the reason I did that is that cotton can be crafted into cloth fragments. Huh. That recipe is less expensive than I remember it being. It used to be you needed 2 cotton for a cloth fragment, I think. I could be wrong. Pretty sure it used to be that you needed 2. Now apparently you need 1. So I'm not going to craft quite as many, or I'm not going to craft all of them. I'm going to craft 50. The reason I wanted to get more cloth fragments is that one thing I, of course, have noted in making landmines is that they require duct tape. A lot of recipes actually require duct tape, which is relatively rare to find. However, you can make it yourself. I think I've done this before, with glue and cloth fragments. Glue you can get by boiling bones in the chemistry station, and cloth fragments you can get by, well, crafting cotton into cloth fragments. So I'm going to probably get as many glue as I can going with my murky water here. This is incidentally one of the reasons why I don't boil all of the murky water that I get immediately. It is actually more useful for a fair number of recipes as murky water. I think you can also make glue on the campfire, but I believe it takes more bones. So I'm barely going to use any of my stock of bones here, but that's fine. I generally don't start crafting stuff with the goal of using up my resources until I have multiple stacks of something taking up space in the chest. Because 1 stack of bones takes up the same amount of space. No matter how many bones you have, if you don't have enough to make more than 1 stack, then they're only taking up 1 slot of space in a chest. And that's going to be the same whether you have 1 or 900. But as soon as you get, the max stack for bones is probably 1,000. I'm not really sure, but that seems likely. So as soon as you get that 1,001th bone, you have a problem because you have more than 1 stack of bones taking up an extra inventory spot in your chest. I have that problem with feathers. I have way too many feathers. Gotta find something to use them for. Let me just add those extra 12 because I'm a magpie and I'm incapable of just throwing them away. Sooner or later, though, I will find something to use those feathers for, and I will craft a bunch of it. And when it's something that's actually useful, like glue or duct tape, well, all the more reason to craft a ton. It is almost nighttime, so I'm going to come over here and actually put up some walls out here this time, and place another landmine down. That way, if I get some zombies tonight, I will be able to test the thing that I was already trying to test. Where's my landmines? There they are. One there. And I'm actually going to build another wall. Hopefully that doesn't detonate the landmine. Right next to it. Nope. Good. That would have been a little weird, but sometimes games do weird things. Oh. I got hungry. Let's have some pumpkin pie. I did just enough zombies. I did just enough to get zombies, apparently. Alright, I need some of you to come over here and step on this landmine before it gets dark and you all get really fast. I'm about to regret this, aren't I? Perfect. I should run. And they're fast now. And I'm not now. I should not have gotten away. Hello. Oops. Okay, they're dead. Any more? Well, as long as I'm doing stupid things tonight, let's go and look at what damage was caused over here. Looks like none. Okay, so landmines do not damage the blocks around them. That's a good thing to know. As I was saying, I did just enough mining before those zombies showed up and rendered it a moot point to gain enough experience to gain a new level. And I'm going to use the skill point to buy the next level of the Demolition Expert perk. I can actually... I believe this is actually the skill perk that governs rocket launchers as well. Not entirely sure. I'll have to experiment with that more. But I want to get all the way to the end of this perk because of something that actually now reading through the information looks like may have been taken out. It used to be that when you got to the top of, or the highest level of this perk, you could actually pick up landmines. Doesn't look like that's the case anymore. Still, as long as I have gone 3/5 of the way down the path of playing with explosives, I might as well go 5/5 of the way. And now I'm going to use my caffeinated self to do a great deal of very efficient mining. And that will probably last me the rest of the night. Crap. See, that's what I mean about not digging out the gravel underneath ore blocks. I just did it by accident because my pickaxe is currently broken and I was waiting for it to repair. And trying not to disrupt the cobblestone that was crafting, and, well, I was trying to balance a bunch of stuff. But I forgot one crucially important thing, which is don't dig out gravel that is underneath an ore deposit section. They're not really blocks. Blocks would be Minecraft. Anyway, don't dig out gravel underneath ore, because the ore might not be properly supported by the gravel next to it, and might fall down and break and be lost. Not that that exactly makes sense on its own, but look, I didn't program the game. It's just the way it is. Don't do it. The chemistry station has turned off, which should mean that my glue is done, and indeed it does. Now I'm trying to remember what other stuff you need glue for. Oh, that's right, it's used in a lot of mod recipes. Okay. So there's actually quite a few things that you need glue to make, so you probably don't want to routinely craft all of your glue into gunpowder. Gunpowder? Crafting glue into gunpowder would be a neat trick. You probably don't want to craft all of your glue into duct tape. I'm probably going to keep a few maybe 10 on hand. And the rest I will craft into duct tape because a lot of these recipes that need glue also need duct tape. Maybe not, as I page through them here. Seems like most of the recipes that need glue don't also need duct tape. Here's one. Wooden bow. You need glue and duct tape. Anyway, you need duct tape for a lot of recipes. You need glue for a lot of recipes. So you probably shouldn't craft all of your glue into duct tape. However, as we have seen from the bones, it is not that hard to make more glue. And I think that there actually isn't any other useful recipe for the bones. Well, there are other recipes, but they're not particularly useful. The bone knife is pretty much obsolete once you get either a hunting knife or machete. And can of sham recipe, well, I mostly just sell canned food anyway. I'm probably not going to spend a lot of time making it, even when I have the recipe. Yeah, there's the ingredient list. Basically everything on this ingredient list I would rather use for other stuff. Bottle of acid for tires, animal fat to make all the other actually good foods, bones for glue, rotting flesh for farm plots. Yeah. Useless. Not sure why I closed my inventory there. I never did start that duct tape. So, let's do that. Let's see, resources, duct tape, not 50, do 40. There. Now I'll be able to make a lot of landmines. That's where I'm going to end this episode. We managed to blow up 4 zombies with landmines, so we've tested those more or less thoroughly now, and we've learned that it is perfectly safe to put landmines next to your walls. Well, safe for the walls at least. Safety to player, questionable. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel to see more content from me, and if you'd like to help my channel grow, please share it with your friends. Goodbye and God bless.